Calls this meeting of Canton City Council to order. Roll call, please, Mr. Clerk.
Smuckler.
Here.
Babcock. Here. Shulman.
Here.
Hawk.
Here.
Kimbrough.
Here.
Scaglione.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Fisher.
Here.
Hall.
Here.
Merrill.
Here.
Ferguson. Morris.
Here.
11 present, 1 absent. Mr. President.
Leader.
President, I move we excuse member Ferguson from tonight's meeting.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to excuse Member Ferguson from this evening's meeting. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smuckler.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Shulman.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Kimbrough.
Aye.
Scaglione.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Fisher. Hall.
Aye.
Merrill.
Aye.
Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries and Member Ferguson is excused from this evening's meeting. Tonight's invocation will be given by Ward 3 Council Member Jason Scaglione. If you would all please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Dear God, we seek your help with our affairs today. Bless this meeting with your divine intelligence and help us to make the best use of our own. We are a diverse opinion here, yet we wish to mend our differences and reach agreement satisfactory to all. Please share a little of your wisdom with us to help us do right by all concerned. Thank you for your heavenly blessings. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Member Scaglione. We are now under agenda corrections and changes. Leader Smuckler.
Mr. President, I move Rule 22A be suspended to add second readings of ordinances 14 through 19 to this evening's agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend Rule 22A to add second readings to ordinances 14 through 19 to this evening's agenda. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smuckler.
Aye.
Babcock. Aye. Shulman.
Aye.
Hawk.
Aye.
Kimbrough.
Aye.
Scaglione.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Fisher.
Aye.
Hall.
Aye.
Merrill.
Aye.
Morris.
Aye.
11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries and ordinances 14 through 19 are a legal part of your agenda. We are now under public hearings and we have one for this evening. Mr. Clerk, would you please announce the public hearing?
An ordinance authorizing Canton Annex territory known as the Hall of Fame Village Number 7 annexation area containing approximately 0.138 acres, assigning said territory to Ward 7, zoning said territory as Hall of Fame Village District.
Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak for or against this ordinance? Please step forward. I must repeat, is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak for or against this ordinance? Please step forward. Seeing no one step forward, the chair declares the public hearing over in regards to this matter. The matter now rests in the hands of council. The ordinance will follow later this evening. We are now under old business and there is no old business this evening. Normally we would do public speaks next, but I would like to do the presentation next because we have some family members that are in the audience this morning. So at this time, I would like to ask State Representative Thomas West, if you could please come forward, and if we can get our city engineer Dan Meglin to please come forward also.
Good evening, President and Council. It's good to be home. Feels really good to be with you guys and to see each and every one of you this evening. Let me also have Dick Drake come up with us, if you will. Our office was contacted by Mr. Drake to talk about the extraordinary work that's been going on here in the city of Canton around trees. And we felt that it was fitting and suitable to honor Dan Meglin for the work that he has done with the Tree Commission. Years ago when I was on City Council, I can recall sitting right over there, right there where Christie's at. I think I was in that chair. And I remember Pat Kirk standing right here, fighting for those trees. And we were thinking back and saying, wow, this woman's here every week talking about these trees. But then she got some momentum going, and it was this council that supported her on that vision. To let's start looking after our trees, let's start looking at our environment. And with that, I have to say, Dan Meglin, who has been very instrumental in making certain that not only we bring forth an arborist, but he supported having that in the city of Canton. And he has moved that along, so far along that today we are here to honor him. So I want to read this proclamation on behalf of the Ohio 49th House District. I'm very pleased to commend Dan Meglin on your distinguished career serving as Canton City Engineer. Your lifelong passion for trees has not just enriched your own life and the lives of your family and friends, it has enriched the lives of 1,000 Canton residents since you began your service to our city. You have had a hand in so many decisions and accomplishments that have beautified our city: the hiring of a full-time certified arborist in 2013, the revision of Canton's tree ordinance to include tree planting and maintenance specifications, and the creation of the Tree Commission, the receipt of $200,000 grant from the United States Department of Agriculture, Forest Service, the city's annual designation as Tree City USA by the Arbor Day Foundation since 2015, the receipt of a growth award from the foundation, and so much more. I think I speak for our community when I say that we owe you a thanks for your tireless efforts to make our city greener. You should take great pride in the fact that your work has made Canton a better place to live, work, and play for all of your neighbors. We look forward to your public service continuing well into the future. We like to present this, but also present this plaque that Dick Drake has brought forward. If you'd like to present that, please. Now, somebody get a picture of this. This looks good.
Tom, if you guys want to come up here and get a picture, or?
Yeah, let's do that. Watch your step. Yeah, move your forehead up.
Congratulations. Yeah, sure. You're not going to get off that easy.
Well, thank you. I guess to start with, I'll try and abide by the 3 minutes, even though it's not clicking. So, well, to start with, I guess this is a real surprise for me. Today, I was told that I need to be at council tonight at 7. Usually, that comes from this guy over here, or one of his assistants. This time, it came from one of my coworkers, so I didn't quite know what to expect. So, this is truly a surprise. I'm very grateful for it and really appreciate it. And I consider it a privilege not just to work on trees to improve our environment in the city, but everything that you guys collectively give us the opportunity to do and the support to do. So thank you for that. There was one person, and I guess as I was thinking as representative was speaking, I thought, there's some words of wisdom that were given to me once upon a time by a woman named Linda Patterson. And she said, when she retired, she said, Dan, you remember, it's not projects that make you successful, it's people that make you successful. And surround yourself with good people. So I want to just say a quick thanks to some of those great people that have helped me along the way and the city in turn. Of course, my family, my wonderful wife Dawn, my 3 kids. My son there is actually a utility forester now because he's appreciated that. And then, of course, Dick Drake, who's been along and really had the fight going before I even got here at the city, along with Pat Kirk, that the representative mentioned. But there's quite a few other folks too. Lola Lewis from ODNR. We couldn't have done any of this without her, and her support at ODNR. And one other fellow that I want to mention, Alan Schulman. You know, what a huge supporter of the environment in his whole career, and that's one of the great things that Alan and I could always agree on is we need to work together collectively. It's not a political thing, making our planet better and leaving it better than we found it and being stewards of our environment. And that was a lesson he taught me, and we hope to keep that going. So thank you to Alan. Of course, Joe Martuccio, who helped us put the legislation together to do this, and then Chris here, who's been able to keep that legal support going. And then, of course, all of you and all the administrations that came that I've had the pleasure to work with. So there's a lot of people that make things happen, and it's not one person, it's not one idea, but it's all of us working together. And I really, really appreciate this recognition, but it really goes to everybody in my mind that's worked to make Canton not just a prettier place, not just greener, but more environmentally friendly, cooler, taking up some of that stormwater, although we need to plant more trees to help out with some of the stormwater, don't we? So, again, thank you. I still have 3 minutes left, so I appreciate it. Have a great evening, everybody, and I look forward to many more years of hopefully doing great things with your support.
Congratulations.
Mr. President.
Mayor Burnaby?
And Dan, on behalf of the administration, myself, John Hyman, everyone that works with you, all the great guys out in the engineering department, in the parks department, our tree commission people, we congratulate you for this particular honor tonight. And of course, we thank you each and every day for the great stuff you do for us as city engineer. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are now under public speaks, and we have 2 speakers for this evening. Our first speaker is Ms. Kimberly Bell. Ms. Bell, could you please step forward and give us your name and residential address, please?
Yes, Kimberly Bell, Morris Avenue, 1733 Morris Avenue. I'm not going to talk about Christine Schulman today. I had planned on, so I was taken down the hallway and asked not to talk about her and how the police was there within 2 minutes for her rescue when she lied on me. So we're not going to go into that. I'm going to put it on hold for now. Now, though.
Ms. Bell.
Yes.
There's warning number 1.
Okay. The lady that was up here talking about planning for the Shore area, they're doing that because it's near the Hall of Fame. Why don't they start the planning down in southeast and northeast of Canton? That's because it's a black area. That's where black people live, in the northeast and the southeast. They won't have that kind of planning for the black people, but being that the Shore is getting closer to the Hall of Fame area, oh, they're going to make it look so pretty. Mayor, I got to suggest. You know, a lot of people, did I turn this off? Somebody hit me? Oh, okay. There's a lot of people hiring, and people don't want to go back to work. I was thinking about this. I was watching something that made me think about this. And everybody, there's a lot of companies going under because nobody wants to go back to work because of all the money that the government gave them. And Mayor, you should offer these people to go back to work. Offer them something to make them go back to work. So I mean, their unemployment's going to run out soon. And they still probably got a lot of money, but offer them something to go back to work. You're the mayor. I offer you, if those people go back to work, I will offer them some of their tax money back that they've taken out of their pay or taken when they paid city taxes. Offer some tax money back to them. And you know, the incident outside just threw me off, so I don't have nothing else to say.
Thank you, Ms. Bell.
You're not welcome.
Our next speaker will be Pete Carpico. Did I get that right?
Yes, sir, you did.
All right, thank you. Mr. Carpico, could you please state your name and residential address, please?
My name is Pete Carpico. I live at 391 Whitetail Trail Northeast in Canton, on the east side. And one of the things I get to look at every day is Republic Steel, which was there when I moved in. But ever since I moved in, they've done a really good job of trying to get rid of everyone who lives over there by poisoning them. I just got an advisory in my email. This is the second one I've received. 3 years ago, I received a different advisory saying that the Ohio EPA had caught Republic Steel emitting lead into the air in a high quantity, and they said they dealt with it. And we had a meeting, and unfortunately not very many people showed up, which I thought was a shame. So when I got this in my email this time, I thought it's time to get more people to show up. I made copies of it. I walked door to door all through Georgeview Estates where I live and asked every neighbor to come to this meeting. And I'm here tonight to ask each and every one of you to be at this meeting also. It is next Tuesday evening, the 20th. It is at Garreau Hall at Canton Parks and Rec over on 13th Street Southwest. It starts at 6 p.m. The Ohio EPA will be there, and the Canton City Public Health will be there. And as our elected officials, I think all of you should be there also, because it affects everyone. Lead is poisonous, and we're breathing it in because they're being irresponsible. And they've proven again and again that they are irresponsible. They are an irresponsible company, and they do not follow directions. Repeatedly, I've had to call the health department, and I've had to call their community support line at the mill to tell them that they have fugitive emissions again. And one of those occasions was this time when they were emitting lead. And their response to me was, we didn't have fugitive emissions. And lo and behold, they exceeded the lead for a 3-month period. For a 3-month period, they exceeded the lead within a couple days. That's ridiculous. So what I'm asking each of you, and he left, Representative West was there the last time, but I would love to see him again there too. But I would love to see every one of you there at this meeting to show the Ohio EPA and Republic Steel that it not only means something to me and my neighbors who are breathing it in, but it means something to the people who represent me and my neighbors who are breathing it in. Because it's a poison, and we're breathing in lead when we shouldn't be, when we have an irresponsible company who will not follow directions. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Carpico.
It is July 20th, which is next Tuesday night at 6 p.m. at Garreau Hall on 13th Street Southwest.
Thank you. Thank you.
Garreau Hall? Yes. It's Garreau Hall? Garrick's? Everybody says it different. Mr. Garreau used to say Mr. Garreau, so I use it the way that Mr. Garreau said his name.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are now under informal resolutions, and we have 3 for this evening. Mr. Clerk, would you please read informal resolution number 19 by title?
Authorize service director to open purchase order amount of $49,901.50 to Wenger Excavating Inc. for repair of water main on 38th Street Northwest.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt informal resolution number 19.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt informal resolution number 19. Are there any remarks? Hearing none by voice vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion carries, and informal resolution number 19 is adopted. Informal resolution number 20, please.
Authorize safety director to open one or more purchase orders in amount not to exceed $32,000 to Ziegler Diesel Performance LLC for repair work for 1 ambulance in the fire department.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt informal resolution number 20.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt informal resolution number 20. Are there any remarks? Member Morris?
Somebody tell us what the repair was for $32,000. It sounds like a whole motor.
Mr. President, can Member Morris repeat the question? We could not hear him.
Use your mic.
I might have to, there you go, I gotta hold the button in.
Can somebody tell us, clarify what the expense of $32,000 is at a diesel repair? It sounds like a motor.
Mr. President, yes, Member Morris, my understanding is there was problems with the engine on one of the ambulance in the fire department.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any additional remarks? Hearing none by voice vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion carries, and informal resolution number 20 is adopted. Resolution number 21.
Authorize safety director to open one or more purchase orders in total amount not to exceed $43,166.30 to American Roadway Logistics for annual maintenance striping along US 30.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt informal resolution number 21.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt informal resolution number 21. Are there any remarks? Hearing none by a voice vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion carries, and informal resolution number 21 is adopted. We are now under communications. Let the journal show that all communications are received as read. We are now under ordinances and formal resolutions for their first reading. Mr. Clerk, would you please begin with ordinance number 1?
Ordinance amending ordinance number 100/2011 as amended to establish the attached exhibit as a classification plan for the auditor's office management and non-bargaining personnel employed by the city of Canton, declaring same to be an emergency, referred to finance and personnel. Number 2, an ordinance amending ordinance number 100/2011 as amended to establish the attached exhibit as a classification plan for the auditor's office management and non-bargaining personnel employed by the city of Canton and permit the auditor to give a wage increase of 4.075% in addition to the 3% permitted by ordinance and declaring same to be an emergency, refer to finance and personnel. Number 3, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into agreement with the State of Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction for the receipt of the FY 2021 through 2023 Justice Reinvestment and Incentive pretrial grant in amount of $380,401 and declaring same to be an emergency, refer to finance. Number 4, an ordinance authorizing the mayor, director of public service to enter into a funding agreement with Economic and Community Development Institute, Inc. in an amount not to exceed $1,150,000, declaring same to be an emergency, referred to finance and community and economic development. Number 5, an ordinance authorizing the editing and inclusion of certain ordinances as part of the various components codes of the codified ordinance of Canton, Ohio, and declaring the same to be an emergency, referred to judiciary. Number 6, resolution authorizes the law director to distribute free of charge to public officials and public institutions copies of the 2021 supplement to the Canton Codified Ordinance to a fixed price for sale of same, declaring same to be an emergency, referred to Judiciary Committee. Number 7, an ordinance amending appropriation ordinance number 49, 2021, declaring same to be an emergency, referred to Finance. Number 8, an ordinance amending appropriation ordinance number 49, 2021, declaring same to be an emergency, referred to Finance. Number 9, an ordinance authorizing the Mayor, Director of Public Service to enter into multi-year agreement with Stark County for the lease of Stark County property, advertise to see bids award, and enter into contract for the lease of city-owned building at 215 West Tuscarora Street, and a sublease for the adjacent county-owned real property for the purposes of operating a restaurant/snack bar, managing an ice rink, and other related purposes, and declaring same to be an emergency, referred to Finance. Number 10, an ordinance authorizing the resurfacing of US 30 from just east of Warner Road to State Route 172 Lincoln Street East, State Route 43 Waynesburg Drive Southeast, and the US 30 interchange, including Meyer Bridge work, to 8 structures within Canton, and declaring same to be an emergency, refer to Public Safety and Thoroughfares and Finance Committees. Number 11, ordinance authorizing resurfacing of US 62 from Morris Avenue Northeast to the East Corporation limits within Canton, and declaring same to be an emergency, refer to Public Safety and Thoroughfares and Finance. Number 12, resolution approving the continued operation of the designated outdoor refreshment area, referred to Downtown Development Committee. Number 13, ordinance authorizing settlement pending claim/lawsuit with Rover Pipeline LLC, and declaring same to be an emergency, refer to Finance. Mr. President.
At this time, the chair would declare an in-house recess for Finance, Public Safety and Thoroughfares, and Downtown Development Committees to meet in regards to ordinances 7 through 11, resolution number 12, and ordinance number 13 on your agenda this evening. You are now in recess.
Okay, it's 7:32. We'll call Finance to order. We have ordinance number 7, an ordinance amending appropriation ordinance number 49/2021 and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
members of council, thank you. This is a dental sealant grant. We have some unappropriated cash balance in that grant, both from billing for services for our dental sealant activities in the schools, as well as some grant money. We want to move that unappropriated balance into other direct costs so that we can purchase some supplies for the program.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Hearing none, we'll sign it out. Move on to ordinance number 8, an ordinance amending appropriation ordinance number 49/2021 and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Mr. Chairman, members of council, this appropriation is for the water portion of the 36th Street Northwest Storm Roadway Water and Sewer Project. We are currently going through the bidding and contracting process. All of the other funds have been appropriated. We just need to do this for the water portion.
Okay, questions? Hearing none, we'll sign it out. Ordinance number 9, an ordinance authorizing Mayor, Director of Public Service to enter into a multi-year agreement with Stark County for the lease of the Stark County property, advertise, receive bids, award, and enter into contract for the lease of a city-owned building at 215 West Tuscarora Street and the sublease for the adjacent county-owned real property for the purposes of operating a restaurant, snack bar, managing the ice rink, and other related purposes, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Mr. Chair, members of council, we are looking to get a long-term tenant for the building and the address referenced, the ice rink building and facility. How this works is a little strange, though. The building actually sits on county property, which we lease from them, and then we own the building, and then anytime we have an interest in real property and we're looking to pass that on to someone else, it goes through the lease process. So effectively where we're at with this is the current lease is set with the county is set to expire on September 30th, 2023. We don't think that a 2-year time commitment is sufficient to ask a potential bidder and an operator for the facility to undertake. So what we've done is we've gone to the county and we've asked them to extend the lease with them. We're looking at a 10-year extension, hopefully, with the county. Then once the county approves the lease extension, we would go out to bid. The reason we're asking for early passage is, obviously, assuming this were to pass tonight, then the county has to approve it, and then for a lease bid like this, we have a 5-week advertising period. So although it's the middle of July, and it's already, from a timing standpoint, time to start thinking about winter and making sure we're ready to go for ice rink season.
Okay, questions? Hearing none, we'll sign it out. Ordinance number 13, an ordinance authorizing the settlement of the pending claim lawsuit with Rover Pipeline LLC and declaring the same to be an emergency.
This, of course, is the matter that we discussed in executive session, but as you've had a chance to digest it, if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Any
Again,
questions?
Anybody have any further questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We'll sign that out. 7:36, that concludes finance.
At 7:36, I call the Public Safety and Thoroughfares to order. An ordinance authorizing the resurfacing of US 30 from east of Warner Road to SR 172 Lincoln Street and SR 43 Waynesburg Drive Southeast, and at the US 30 interchange, including the minor bridge work to the 8 structures within Canton, and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Madam Chair, members of council, this is exactly what the chair just referenced in terms of ODOT coming in on Route 30 and doing bridge work and resurfacing work. Our estimated cost or share of the work is $57,000, which will come from funds already appropriated in engineering's budget if they're unable to secure a grant. One way or another, though, a small portion in the grand scheme of the project. Planned construction is for spring of 2022, and we are asking for a first reading passage because we got this from ODOT just before the last council meeting, and they have requested to have it prior to the end of July in order to move forward with their process.
Are there any questions?
Yes. Director, does that include Waynesburg Bridge?
I know they are doing some bridge work on the bridges. In terms of the exact work on the bridge and the limits, I can get that to you and email it, but I guess specific work to the Waynesburg Bridge, I'd want to request from Dan and ODOT before saying exactly what it is that they're doing on the bridge, because I know that process is a little bit different than just paving.
Yeah, that's really what I was questioning, the
Yeah.
surface of it, yeah.
I knew that's what you meant, so I will double check that in the morning and get back with everybody on that, on the surface of the Waynesburg Bridge.
Are there any other questions or concerns? Now, for the reading of ordinance number 11, an ordinance authorizing the resurfacing and status of 62 Morris Avenue Northeast to the East Corporate Line limit within Canton and declaring the same to be an emergency.
Madam Chair, members of council, this is ODOT resurfacing on 62 from Morris Northeast to the East City limits. Our share of this would actually have been $318,000. However, engineering has secured a grant through SCATS to cover the city's costs, so there are no city funds for this work. Project is planned for spring of 2022.
Are there any questions?
It's me again. On 62, there's reoccurring, I should say, speed bumps. I wonder, are they going to try to take care of those the right way this time?
Member Hall, I would assume yes, since they're doing the resurfacing. And I would assume that the ones, are you talking about the areas where we try to go in and do the mill and fill at the beginning of every year? You know the spots I'm talking about? I think that's the area you're referencing.
Yes.
So my assumption would be yes, since they're resurfacing the road.
Are there any other questions or concerns? Well, this concludes Public Safety and Thoroughfares Finance Committee meeting, and that's 7. At 7:40, I'd like to call to order the Downtown Development Committee meeting. A resolution approving the continued operation of the designated outdoor refreshment area.
Madam Chairman, members of council, we created the DORA, it's hard to believe, 5 years ago. It's been very, very successful. In reviewing the Ohio Revised Code on an unrelated matter, we determined that there is a requirement in the Revised Code in that section that council reconsider the existence and the continuation of the DORA every 5 years. Again, so we have therefore placed before you a resolution authorizing its continuation. Again, you have the choice of continuing it or dissolving it. It has been very, very successful. As you are probably aware, numerous communities around us and otherwise in the state have now adopted DORAs. It's been an economic and downtown success without any issues, either regarding sanitation or safety, and we would ask your approval of its continuation.
Are there any questions or concerns? Hearing none, this concludes the Downtown Development Committee meeting, and it is now 7:42.
Mr. President,
Just 1 second, Majority Leader. I got you. I didn't forget about it. I can't get that tickle out of my throat. Council is reconvening after the recess. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we suspend Rule 22A to place ordinances 7 through 11, Resolution number 12, and Ordinance 13 back on this evening's agenda.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend Rule 22A to place ordinances 7 through 11, Resolution number 12, and Ordinance number 13 back on this evening's agenda. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Aye. Showman. Aye. Hawk. Aye. Kimbrough. Aye. Scaglione. Aye. Smith. Aye. Fisher. Aye. Hall. Aye. Merrill. Aye. Morris. Aye. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries, and ordinances 7 through 11, Resolution number 12, and Ordinance number 13 are a legal part of your agenda. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we suspend the statutory rules of ordinances 7 through 11, Resolution number 12, and Ordinance 13.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend the statutory rules on ordinances 7 through 11, Resolution number 12, and Ordinance number 13. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Aye. Showman. Aye. Hawk. Aye. Kimbrough. Aye. Scaglione. Aye. Smith. Aye. Fisher. Aye. Hall. Aye. Merrill. Aye. Morris. Aye. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
You've heard the 3 readings. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 7.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt ordinance number 7. Are there any remarks under this ordinance? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Aye. Showman. Aye. Hawk. Aye. Kimbrough. Aye. Scaglione. Aye. Smith. Aye. Fisher. Aye. Hall. Aye. Merrill. Aye. Morris. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries, and ordinance number 7 is adopted. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 8.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt ordinance number 8. Are there any remarks under this ordinance? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Aye. Showman. Aye. Hawk. Aye. Kimbrough. Aye. Scaglione. Aye. Smith. Aye. Fisher. Aye. Hall. Aye. Merrill. Aye. Morris. Aye. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries, and ordinance number 8 is adopted. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 9.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt ordinance number 9. Are there any remarks under this ordinance? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker. Aye. Babcock. Aye. Showman. Aye. Hawk. Aye. Kimbrough. Aye. Scaglione. Aye. Smith. Aye. Fisher. Aye. Hall. Aye. Merrill. Aye. Morris. Aye. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries, and ordinance number 9 has been adopted. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 10.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt ordinance number 10. Are there any remarks under this ordinance? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker. Aye. Babcock. Aye. Showman. Aye. Hawk. Aye. Kimbrough. Aye. Scaglione. Aye. Smith. Aye. Fisher. Aye. Hall. Aye. Merrill. Aye. Morris. Aye. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries, and ordinance number 10 has been adopted. Leader?
President, I move we adopt ordinance number 11.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt ordinance number 11. Are there any remarks under this ordinance? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker. Aye. Babcock. Aye. Showman. Aye. Hawk. Aye. Kimbrough. Aye. Scaglione. Aye. Smith. Aye. Fisher. Aye. Hall. Aye. Merrill. Aye. Morris. Aye. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries, and ordinance number 11 has been adopted. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt resolution number 12.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt resolution number 12. Are there any remarks under this resolution? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker. Aye. Babcock. Showman. Aye. Hawk. Aye. Kimbrough. Aye. Scaglione. Aye. Smith. Aye. Fisher. Aye. Hall. Aye.
Merrill. Morris. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries and resolution number 12 has been adopted. Leader?
Mr. President, I move that we adopt ordinance number 13.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt ordinance number 13. Are there any remarks under this ordinance? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Showman. Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith.
Member Smith?
Fisher. Hall. Merrill. Morris. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries and ordinance number 13 has been adopted. We are now under ordinances and formal resolutions for their second reading. Mr. Clerk, would you please begin with ordinance number 14?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor, director of public service to advertise, see bids, award, and execute a construction contract, execute a professional services contract for construction oversight services for the Viola State Sanitary Sewer Project, GP 1336, amending appropriation ordinance number 49, 2021, authorizing the auditor to pay all moral obligations for related project change orders that are otherwise approved by the Board of Control pursuant to Canton Codified Ordinances 105.14 and declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 15, ordinance authorizing the mayor, director of public service to advertise, see bids, award, and execute a construction contract and enter into a work license/easement agreement with the Wheeling and Lake Erie Railway Company for the Burnham Hills Sanitary Sewer Realignment Project, GP 1220, authorizing the auditor to pay all moral obligations for related project changes orders that are otherwise approved by the Board of Control pursuant to Canton Codified Ordinances 105.14, amending appropriation ordinance number 49, 2021, declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 16, ordinance authorizing the mayor, director of public service to advertise, see bids, award, and execute a construction contract for the Park Ridge Circle Northwest Water Main Extension Project, amending appropriation ordinance number 49, 2021, declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 17, ordinance amending Exhibit A to ordinance number 100/2011 as amended, classification plan for non-bargaining unit personnel employed by the city of Canton, declaring the same to be an emergency. For 18, ordinance amending appropriation ordinance number 49, 2021, declaring the same to be an emergency. Number 19, ordinance amending section 15507, investing interim monies of chapter 155 of the administrative code. Mr. President.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we suspend statutory rules on ordinances 17 through 19.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to suspend the statutory rules on ordinances 17 through 19. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock.
Aye.
Showman. Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Fisher. Hall. Merrill. Morris. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries. You've heard the three readings. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 17.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt ordinance number 17. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Showman. Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Fisher. Hall. Merrill. Morris. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries and ordinance number 17 has been adopted. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 18.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt ordinance number 18. Are there any remarks under this ordinance? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker. Babcock.
Aye.
Showman. Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Fisher. Hall. Merrill. Morris. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries and ordinance number 18 has been adopted. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 18. I'm sorry, number 19.
19. Second.
It's been moved and seconded that you adopt ordinance number 19. Are there any remarks under this ordinance? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker. Babcock. Showman. Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Fisher. Hall. Mario. Morris. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
The motion carries and ordinance number 19 has been adopted. We are now under ordinances and formal resolutions for their third, final reading and vote. Mr. Clerk, would you please begin with ordinance number 20?
Ordinance amending ordinance numbers 262/2015 and 145/2017 to include certain properties of the Hall of Fame Village project site as existing property, the area covered by the tax increment financing provisions of the Ohio Revised Code, section 5709.40, exempting the improvements to said property from taxation during the term of that certain compensation agreement authorized by ordinance numbers 262/2015 and 145/2017, collectively the compensation agreement, and declaring same to be an emergency.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 20.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 20. Are there any remarks? Leader?
Mr. President, I move we amend ordinance number 20 per the amendment before every council member.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to amend ordinance number 20 per the copy before each of you. Are there any remarks?
Mr. President?
Member Morris.
I have a question pertaining to Exhibit C. All the property owners listed on this are not the Hall of Fame Village. It's companies and individuals. Can somebody clarify why?
Mr. President?
Deputy Mayor.
Mr. President, members of council, on Exhibit C, those are various parcels that are being annexed, and they all will turn into Exhibit A. So there was two exhibits initially, Exhibit B and Exhibit C, and with this ordinance, all the parcels were turned into Exhibit A, and that will be the final exhibit that goes with this ordinance.
Member Morris? Good?
I'm straight.
Okay. Are there any additional remarks? Hearing none by voice vote. Mayor Burnley?
I just wanted to just double check one thing. Has this ordinance been given a second reading for sure? I know we postponed it several times. I just want to make sure that we can move a postponement to third reading. Yeah.
Mr. President?
Deputy Mayor?
Yeah, I spoke with the law department and also the clerk today, and this was given a second reading on June 7th.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Are there any additional remarks? Hearing none by voice vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no.
No.
The ayes have it, the motion carries. Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 20 as amended.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 20 as amended. Are there any remarks under this ordinance as amended? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smuggler.
Aye.
Babcock. Showman. Hawk.
Aye.
Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Fisher. Hall. Mario. Morris.
No.
10 yeas, 1 nay, Mr. President.
The motion carries and ordinance number 20 as amended has been adopted. Ordinance number 21, please.
Ordinance approving and accepting the replat of lots 22884 through 22886 and part of lot 22887, declaring same to be an emergency.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 21.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 21. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smuggler.
Aye.
Babcock. Showman. Hawk.
Aye.
Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Fisher. Hall. Mario. Morris. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance number 21 is adopted. Ordinance number 22, please.
An ordinance approving and accepting the replat of outlot 984 and declaring same to be an emergency.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move we adopt ordinance number 22.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 22. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker.
Aye.
Babcock. Aye. Showman. Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Fisher. Hall. Merrill. Morris. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance number 22 is adopted. Ordinance number 23, please.
An ordinance authorizing Canton annex territory known as the Hall of Fame Village Number 7 annexation area containing approximately 0.138 acres, more or less, assigning said territory to Ward 7 of the city, zoning said territory as Hall of Fame Village District, declaring the same to be an emergency.
Leader?
Mr. President, I move that we adopt ordinance number 23.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt ordinance number 23. Are there any remarks? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Smucker. Babcock. Showman. Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Fisher. Hall. Merrill. Morris. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
Motion carries and ordinance number 23 is adopted. We are now under announcement of committee meetings. Our next meeting day will be July 26, 2021, and it will be at 6:30 p.m.
Mr. President,
Member Merrill.
Finance will meet council chambers July 26, 6:30.
Thank you, Member Merrill.
Mr. President,
Member Scaglione.
Community and Economic Development will meet same time, same place.
Thank you, Member Scaglione.
Mr. President,
Member Babcock.
personnel will meet July 19th at 5 o'clock in the council chambers.
Thank you, Member Babcock.
Yeah, they are.
Mr. President, Judiciary will meet same time, same place.
Thank you, Member Schulman. We are now under miscellaneous business. Is there any miscellaneous business for this evening?
Mr. President,
Member Babcock.
I want to change that date to the, oh, hang on for a minute. No, wait a minute. Fine, we're leaving like it is. Thanks.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Member Scaglione.
just want to take a moment to thank again Dan Meglin and everybody here, the mayor, everybody that's worked on the drainage issues throughout our city, in specific Fawcett Court. I know as of lately we've seen more and more drainage problems through our entire city. You know, when we talked about this particular project, we talked about the 30 to 50 year rains that might have been 3 to 4 inches, and now it seems like we're getting those every year now.
It seems like every week.
Seems like it,
Yeah.
yes, lately it has been every week.
Yeah.
So I just want to, again, thank everyone for the work on this project that's made it better. Basements weren't filled to fuse boxes. There were still some water issues in basements. But I just want to stress with all these projects that happen in our city that we really consider through planning and zoning and whoever we need to start thinking about building everything for the 200-year storm, because obviously the 50-year storms we're getting almost weekly. So I want to thank everyone for their efforts. It's something you can't really plan for, you can't really forecast. We don't know really where this is going to go all the time, but these rains have just really been a drain on our city, and I know there's going to be many, many drainage issues we're going to have to deal with as these rains keep just pounding this city.
Absolutely. Thank you, Member Scaglione. Peter?
Yeah, part of the confusion and why Chris Smith and myself ran out there was it's hard enough to get residents to come to something in their own neighborhood, let it go and go to the other side of town. And this thing was just thrown at us by the EPA today. And one thing I disagreed with your late husband was the efficiency of the EPA and how they operate. And we explained to the residents that it's going to be difficult to get residents to drive across town there. This right now is scheduled for Tuesday of next week, pending some last-minute shuffling here, and I don't know what the councilwoman has in mind, but we've got to figure this out, because this is not user-friendly for the residents that live in that area, by any stretch of the imagination.
Mr. President,
Member Smith.
my opinion is to just go on with the meeting that's scheduled. I would take it upon myself to personally, possibly try to call everyone and stress how important that they be there, because it wasn't scheduled on us, it was scheduled on the EPA. And I think at this point, we can't change anything, but we'll do our best to try to get them there. That's all I can say. And I would hope that the council members, how they stress of us being there, that it will make a difference. So that's about all we can really go for, because I understand that they tried to get other places, and a lot of places are still not booking because of the COVID. So that was maybe all that they could get.
And Member Smith, I would agree with that, but I would also encourage every council member that could be available to attend that meeting also. I think it's very, very important. If they can't, the residents can't be there, we can speak for them. Absolutely. Is there any other miscellaneous business for this evening?
Go ahead.
Member Kimbrough?
I was just going to say that I was really excited about what happened with the Blues Festival this week. That was a very well visited event downtown, and I think that it was fantastic. And I just want to give the arts, those who took care of that, a shout out for another wonderful event downtown.
Absolutely. Thank you, Member Kimbrough. Leader?
And I was going to say, besides the Blues Festival, those of you who attended McKinley Monument for July 4th, there was a wonderful program there. We had something a little different. We didn't have marching bands. We had Jimmy and the Soul Blazers. And it turned out to a very nice evening, very nice fireworks program, and from everything I've heard, the peace was kept, and there were no major safety problems that night. And so that was wonderful to have that in the community too. I can tell you that the committee is considering doing the exact same thing again next July 4th, and I've encouraged them that that's the route that we should go. It was nice to welcome home our state representative to this area where he cut his political teeth on. And it was very nice to see him back here and representing us in the great state of Ohio. We have a lot of things on the agenda coming up, and we need his help. The state representative Schuring, and I want to give him a shout out. He has worked tirelessly on bringing money back to Canton, Ohio, and getting things done. There are a number of projects on the table, and no one can say enough good things about how he works with us down in Columbus. Based on that, if nobody has anything else, we're back to up front.
That sounds like a motion to adjourn.
No, you don't have any quotes this week?
No.
Sure.
So,
When I was a kid, my parents moved a lot, but I always found them. Rodney Dangerfield. That's for you, Bill.
There you go.
You only got 3 more for me.
Now that sounds like a motion.
excuse me, but who's counting? I am. Also, welcome back, Member Morris. Nice to see you here today. Move we adjourn.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn. Mr. Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Smucker. Babcock. Showman. Hawk. Kimbrough. Scaglione. Smith. Fisher. Paul. Mario. Morris. 11 yeas, Mr. President.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming this evening.